Hey, my name is Chris Maloney, the host of TNT Thursday Night Throwdown, alongside Sean Bates of the Scumbags are Wrestling. How you doing, Sean?
Doing well. It's been a decent week. It's gone by quick. Just hate this snow that's going on, but other than that, we're good.
Yeah, it's been kind of a terrible weather issue going on in London the past probably, 24, 36 hours or so?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's supposed to go till about Saturday. So hopefully the roads are good for my next road trip.
Yeah, roads weren't too good this morning, but they were a little bit better coming home from work today. Yeah, big news is the hashtag I've got going alongside my name. I don't know if you guys are able to see that, but it's hashtag copyright strike. And I'll go on to that. So, anyways, if you ever host a podcast, and this is my voice, this is me coming from me to you, make sure you do original content only. So you're gonna play some music, make sure you're singing that music or playing that music, or you got somebody's permission. If you are showing videos, make sure they're your own videos, such as Sean's Tyson interview or Carter's audio. You know what I mean? So we didn't get in trouble for that. And when I say we, I should say me. Long story short, hashtag copyright strike. So episode 8 takes place last week. Show's good. We get off the air, post it up on social media, everywhere else. And hey, guess what? I get a nice little notification from YouTube. And it's like, hey, we deleted your video. I was like, okay, I'll just re-upload it. And they deleted my video based on a complaint with regards to AEW, obviously, or TNT, not this TNT, but Time Warner TNT over there. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. I kind of learned my lesson, whatever the case may be. Then they made me go and take this 5-question survey as far as what not to do in the future. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Slap in my hand, whatever the case may be. Then all of a sudden I find out that basically for 90 days till May, where this weather is not the same way it is today. 90 damn days. I cannot upload to YouTube. I cannot stream to YouTube Live. So we're talking basically Facebook, and I thought about doing Twitch, but I was like, you know what? I'm not too familiar with Twitch yet, and I'd rather do YouTube because that previously when I was doing podcasts, we had tried YouTube and it worked well. So anyway, long story short, we had to switch the address for the YouTube. Long story short, again, it is up on all social media as well as the TNT website. So check that out. Lesson learned, though, hopefully. That's twice now. So don't play an AC/DC song as your theme song because that was pretty quick. And then last week, just showing that Cody, and it wasn't even the real show, it was the pre-show, just showing the Cody promo. Anyways, long story short, yeah, don't do what I did. So make sure it's original content. But Sean, you had a busy week, and somebody else who had a busy week, and we're going to bring him on right now, is Mr. Stephen O'Neill. Stephen, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. How's weather in your land?
Nasty in Toronto.
You're in Toronto.
It's been cold, and we got a ton of snow.
So it sounds pretty much similar to London here.
Well, yeah. It's not going to get any better today.
Stephen, if you want to just quickly introduce yourself, how long have you been a wrestling fan, and what's some of your favorites right now?
I've been a wrestling fan as long as I can remember, so over 20 years or longer. Probably the wrestling right now, probably Carter Mason, Kevin Bennett are probably my two favorite. And we'll talk about their match from last Sunday shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, we definitely will. So big news from tonight. And I just thanks, Sean. Apparently that TNT logo, that hash, whatever that was covering my face. So all good. We have the ability to chat during the show, not very often, but it does happen. Anyways, guys, first thing we're going to start off with, obviously, is WWE Super Showdown 2020 taking place earlier today. A lot of highlights from it. Won't go through a full thing about it because every podcast out there is going to do it. I'm simply going to go to the results, go with the highlights, and then get you guys' thoughts on what you thought of the event as a whole. So OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defeat the Viking Raiders. Undertaker returned, won the two-way trophy gauntlet match, pinning AJ Styles in the end. Miz and John Morrison defeated the New Day to capture the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. Angel Garza defeated Humberto Carrillo. Raw Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Murphy defeated the Street Profits to retain. Mansoor defeated Dolph Ziggler. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar defeated Ricochet. Roman Reigns defeated King Corbin in a steel cage match. Hopefully that is done. SmackDown Women's Champion Billy defeated Naomi. And in the main event, Goldberg, new Universal Champion, defeating the Fiend Bray Wyatt to become the new Universal Champion. Highlights about this: Goldberg new champ, Miz and Morrison new champs. And apparently after this was done, Macaulay Culkin, after Super Showdown, said, "I just canceled my tickets to Tampa Bay," meaning he was thinking about going to WrestleMania. Now he is not. Guys, your thoughts on the show as a whole and the new champions that we get to see?
Miz and Morrison's interesting. I mean, the Usos need someone to have matches with. The New Day, Goldberg. I'm actually really disappointed. I don't really get it, other than it's going to be Goldberg, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which I'm not interested in seeing personally. I mean, I don't understand the creative giving Goldberg the world title personally.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. Like, I'm seeing the times on here as well, and yeah, I'm not surprised in a way that Brock won, but in 1:30 over Ricochet, when Brock has really good matches with smaller guys, doing the whole thing as you just mentioned with Goldberg winning the title. The guy isn't even a WWE creation. He hated WWE the first time around. He's only there for the paycheck. And yeah, okay, big name going against Roman Reigns, spear versus spear. Finally got Roman back in the title picture. But who cares, really? The worst part of the whole thing is they ruined the Fiend. Like, they build this guy up so big, kicking out of finishers, kind of making Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan look bad in their build of the Fiend, only for him to lose in 3 minutes to Goldberg. I think, if at all, and if you wanted to get the title off Bray somehow, they could have gone back to how they built up The Undertaker and gave him the title, but got it off him when he beat Hogan and made that vacant. And Taker didn't look bad in it. They just had a schmoz finish. They took the belt off him and done, and he still became the Phenom. What you got with Bray now that he got destroyed by Goldberg, who's how old and is a part-timer? Or not even a part-timer. He's worse than a part-timer. He's just, give me my paycheck.
So Steven already mentioned it. Roman Reigns looks to be the next opponent for Goldberg as far as WrestleMania goes. But you talk about the Fiend and who's coming up next. Looks like John Cena. Your thoughts?
Why? Like, I just don't understand it. I'm not interested in seeing Bray Wyatt or the Fiend versus John Cena for the 30th, 40th time. WrestleMania I was excited for, and it's losing my interest really quick.
Yeah, and then, like, if Bray gets the win, okay, fine. But against Cena, who hasn't been there in a year, Cena's not really giving anybody a rub. Like, he needs to go against somebody else.
I mean, if they wanted to get the title off Bray Wyatt, could you have not have made a new superstar? Ricochet, Aleister Black, someone who, could have made a star out of this, and not Goldberg, who's 50 plus and going to end up losing it probably at WrestleMania.
So first comment of the night, obviously, Jonesy. Goldberg gimmick blows Bischoff's balls. I don't think anybody disagrees with that one there. Thanks, Jonesy.
I'll be actually seeing Jonesy on Saturday with upcoming show in Fort Erie, so be fun.
Yeah. So another thing I'm going to get you guys' comments on. So rumor has it right now that Elimination Chamber is coming up and 3 Elimination Chamber matches taking place. You guys think that's over? Sean's face says it all right there. Anybody listening on the audio, Sean, is that overkill?
Very much overkill. When Lacey Evans mentioned about her having 5 other competitors that she has to worry about the Elimination Chamber, my jaw kind of dropped, and as you just saw, my eyes bugged out with the fact that, okay, we got this lame duck Elimination Chamber that we know that Shayna Baszler is going to win. But now you're going to give us a second women's Elimination Chamber for the SmackDown title to face now Bayley. They should have just done that and did something different with Shayna Baszler because it's too telegraphed. So pick one or the other, not both.
Yeah, we were talking Sunday. What was it? It's Dana Brooks, probably Naomi, Lacey Evans.
Oh yeah, trying to figure out the Carmella
generic woman. Yeah, like there's no depth there, so I do not see it being any good.
I'll put you on pause there for a second. We talked about depth. I read something today about Trish Stratus, the date March 19th, and an image of Sasha Banks in the promo that she did on Twitter. Sasha Banks, Trish Stratus going at it, and possibly Trish fighting for the championship at Mania versus Bayley. In a moment of silence.
We've already had Trish retire, I thought, again. Like, the only matchup, honestly, if it weren't for the fact that there's going to be so much on WrestleMania that would interest me is seeing Bayley against Sasha in their old NXT sort of style, be allowed to have that sort of time and match. Give me that at WrestleMania, fine. But if we're looking at Sasha against Bayley potentially, as I just threw out, Rhea against Charlotte, and Shayna against Becky, with possibly the tag team titles on the line. And I saw a rumor of a mystery fifth women's match. That's 5 matches for women, plus the Battle Royal. Like, where are they going to find all these women to fill these spots? And why do we need so many? I'm not knocking women's wrestling because it's gotten better, but unless WrestleMania is 9 hours, where are we throwing 5 women's matches plus a Battle Royal?
Don't even hint at WrestleMania being friggin' 9 hours. It's bad enough it's like 7 hours or whatever the hell it is. Steven, your thoughts on Trish Stratus, whether or not she comes back once again?
I don't see the point. I loved Trish Stratus when I was a kid. I don't see the point at this point. Sasha Banks versus Trish Stratus. I got nothing. My mind's blown with what they're coming up with.
All right. Well, good segue from both of you guys, because speaking of minds blown and where they're going to get these women at, you guys know that Tammy Sitch is being released from jail?
Oh, God. How long till she's back in?
So, actually, it came out a couple days ago, courtesy Pro Wrestling Sheet. Released on parole March 25th of this year. So, Tammy Sitch would be available for WrestleMania.
No.
Yeah, wow.
I think between the three of us, we're in better shape than Tammy Sitch is.
That's not saying much.
No, it's not. But she's been hibernating now in jail. She's going to be like a groundhog, come out for a couple minutes just to go back in.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Jonesy with his second comment of the night, he thought Mania 4 was long. You know, comparison towards what now is nowadays, I don't think Mania 4 was long at all, eh?
Short. Yes, it was a 2 VHS set, but Mania 4 wasn't too bad in comparison.
Yeah, that back in the days of VHS, where I think, 3 hours was tops? Oh, no, that was the 2, 4, 6 hours, but the 6 hours was poor quality, and the 2 hours was the good quality.
Yeah.
That's for all anybody, you go and Google or Wikipedia VHS, and you'll understand what we're talking about right now. Last bit of note on WWE specifically. Samoa Joe suspended for 30 days. So Andrade comes back, Samoa Joe's gone. Surprised?
No, I read on Wrestling Inc., I thought it was 2 or 3 weeks ago that he was going to get suspended, and then just kind of went away, and then he had a head injury, and then magically now he's suspended. So it'd be interesting to find out what he was suspended for, what he got dinged with. I'm guessing marijuana.
Yeah, but I think they've laxed on that. I think, if at all, it could be as simple as cold medication because it's winter and he's been injured how many times lately? there could be some painkillers that he's taking for those injuries that he's had that were not on the list. And thanks for coming out, Joe.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I mean, he's been underutilized since he's come up from NXT anyway, so
half the roster has been that.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can book WWE better than they're doing it right now.
Yeah, good old VKM. Big news taking place, and I was so excited about this. And Sean, and I know you've got comments with regards to the Ontario Indie thing with regards to the top 32. I think you're doing, but New Japan Cup was coming up, and all of a sudden it was some of the best matches you're probably going to see in the history of New Japan Cup taking place, and that was about to start soon, to the point that guys on Ontario the OIW Podcast Network were jumping on and getting involved as well. Anyway, long story short, because of the coronavirus, suspension of 2 weeks of New Japan Pro Wrestling is taking place. So March 1st through the 15th has been canceled, and that would include 8 nights of the New Japan Cup. So anybody looking forward to that, much like myself, is going to have to wait until at least March the 16th, and they will take it at a 2-week period of time. I think it was the Prime Minister of Japan that got involved with this and said, hey, you guys should cancel sports. I was listening to Dave Meltzer before the show, and he was talking about with regards to how it's not just, wrestling, it's volleyball and baseball, and the Olympics is in over there this year, and they're starting to talk about what's going to happen if, do you guys think the coronavirus is as big as it is to be canceling wrestling events? I mean, if you're a fan in Japan and you've got this thing going on, are you guys still going to attend these events because you're a pure wrestling fan, or are your health's going to come first and you're not going to go anyways?
Speaking from a strictly business point of view, you're going to find a lot. This happens in the USA and in Canada soon, where things are going to start getting canceled. Too many people. All it's going to take is 1 or 2 people to come in with that, and it's going to get quite a few people sick, and it is not worth risking people's healths for entertainment purposes like this.
So in saying that, with New Japan Cup being as big as it is, do you guys think is potential effect of WrestleMania?
Yes.
Sean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, haven't totally seen everything that happened today with Super Showdown. I heard that possibly there's people in the audience that were wearing surgical masks there, worried about it, I guess. But I had at one point heard that some of those events were going to be empty arena matches because they still want to get the content done, but not worry about the fan reaction or fans. But I guess they decided to totally cancel, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, just to me personally, I can't watch an empty arena match. It's just the fans sometimes will make or break that match. Sean, I know you were at WrestleMania 18 a long time ago, and Hogan Rock, you know what I mean? And it was us fans in attendance that made that match happen, and you can hear some of the announcers still to this day talk about it.
Yeah, they were just talking about, I think, the other day on Grill and JR and how the fan reaction was.
We got to get Jonesy on here sometime so we can not just post comments, but actually share his thoughts. Risk my health for entertainment, hell yeah, is what he says. Followed up by Doug Trenter, Midwestern Wrestling. Good stuff as always, guys. So thank you very much, Doug. We've got another guest potentially coming on, so I'm going to look into that momentarily. I just want to announce this. We're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. ROH New Japan team up for War of the Worlds Tour in May, coming up May 7th, Ted Reeve Arena, Toronto. I think I might look into attending that. Guys, you fans of ROH at all? Some of you guys, you guys just traveled to Toronto to go see Smash Wrestling. ROH show, would it be worth it to you guys?
I'm getting tickets.
You're local.
I remember. Well, yeah, I can get to the arena in half an hour. Chris, we can talk about that after. But I used to be an ROH fan. Then I stopped watching ROH, and now I'm big back into ROH.
I tell you this, I ditched WXW to head down to the Friday show that taking place SummerSlam week, and I'm glad I did, because if you see anything on social media, you'll see me with Marty Skrull and the Gorillas of Destiny and stuff like that. And I was like, it was weird because it was in the Mattamy. I think the Mattamy Athletic Center used to be the Leafs. Yeah,
I'm right across the street from it.
The setup they had going on and the fan interaction and the fan support that they had, I mean, was just absolutely amazing. So Ted Reeve Arena, I don't know if I've ever been there. If it's the same arena Kevin Steen won his first ROH championship, I have. But that I'll have to check out history-wise. But on top of that, I'm going to look into bringing Daniel onto the show. Guys, get your thoughts on this. Tessa versus Taya for the Impact World Championship coming up on Impact next week. Is it necessary, and has Tessa done what she's needed to be a great female men's champion, so to speak?
See, that's going to be the problem. Like, there's still that division of men's and women's, and if they're going to put this belt on Tessa and have her defending it now against Taya, why don't we just blend both men's and women's titles together and let it be a total intergender organization for Impact? If not, you got to get that belt off of Tessa, reestablish some credibility, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't buy into the intergender wrestling that's going on. Steve's one of them, and Booker T is also one. There's a bunch of guys. I think even Triple H is against it because it's not realistic, unfortunately. Even though this is performance art, trying to convince me that somebody Tessa's size is going to beat a Brian Cage legitimately, which even though she did to become the number one contender, not overly believable. And so you got to differentiate between the two weight classes or genders in this case.
So let's put it this way. You put Roman Reigns in a match with Charlotte Flair. Who comes out on top?
That's a good
Roman Reigns.
Physically, it could be Roman. But, you're now dealing with the Golden Boy and Flair's kid, when you do that one. But physically, it should be Roman.
Steven, you agree?
Yeah, I'm not an intergender fan. I'll admit it. I haven't watched Impact in a while. They started to get me hooked again when they were with Smash in London at Brace for Impact, and then they started doing stupid shit again. And then
Sean, that was it. That show that who was it? Sammy or John Morrison had taken your sign and hit the other one over the head. Or
that's right. They came over to where we were and got that done. We also had the women's tag team match and stuff like that. Yeah.
The biggest paper cut in the world that night, I think, going on. So we had mentioned Charlotte Flair, AEW NXT 865 for AEW this week, NXT 717. AEW still winning, but not attendance, but viewership was down for both. Main event saw Jericho and Mox in a weigh-in. Jericho ended up getting 7 stitches because of a headbutt. Highlights also include Iron Man match and the Hangman Page interview, which you should check out because I'm liking where they're going direction with his character. NXT main event, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. Champion's name for NXT. Yeah, I'm thinking Ruby Riott, but no, it's Rhea Ripley. So she had come out to see Flair in the ring, and then highlights also included, which I'm kind of curious what they're going to go with this. Imperium attacking Finn Balor. Do you guys see a Mania match with Balor maybe taking on Walter?
Oh my God, yes.
It looks like that's going to be the direction instead of sending. There still is a UK show coming up, isn't there?
Blackpool, Dublin,
Ireland.
Yeah, Dublin, I think.
Yeah, so it could be setting up for that one with those two against each other, because I'd like to also see Cole against Balor for the title during WrestleMania weekend. Yeah,
that we've discussed before, and I mean, if the next NXT takeover is taking place in Ireland, why not put Walter and Finn Balor on the card there? What I think would be cool if you all of a sudden see NXT UK champion against NXT champion at WrestleMania. I think that would be cool as well.
To me, I think it's time for Undisputed Era to get the call up anyways. So whoever he Adam Cole faces at WrestleMania should beat him. I think Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong are due to the main roster. I don't see anything else for them in NXT.
So there's nothing else for Mr. Britt Baker to accomplish down there?
No.
I don't see it. I don't know.
I think they should stay there just for creative sake, but at the same time, they need to go up. I would only send them to SmackDown maybe and clean that up a bit with some more technical guys. Let Raw be the entertainment side, and since they're on Fox and want to be sports oriented, that Fox could have the more athletic and more match presenters on their show.
So bring up DIY as well.
Potentially, but let them find.
Potentially, you just said bring up the guys who are skilled.
Yeah, but you got to get rid of their whole thing of their battle against each other every other month.
You'd rather watch friggin' Brock Lesnar squashing guys on Raw or friggin' Roman Reigns in another main event than to have DIY up on the friggin' main roster.
I'd love to see DIY there, but they were up there briefly, and Tommaso Ciampa said, I want to, and I think even Gargano said, I want to stay in NXT and not get lost in the shuffle.
I tell you this, if I had the chance to be the referee in that match and they want to put me through for a friggin' table, it's no problem at all. You know, just to be in that match between Gargano and Ciampa, it'd be like Hogan and Warrior. Well, somewhat anyways. Maybe a little more technical ability. Anyways, last couple thoughts on Pro before we get into some AEW Revolution. Lance Archer, AEW official for next week, as well as the March 11th episode of NXT on USA Network to be filmed inside of the Performance Center. Any thoughts on those two?
I think I heard that they're going to build the NXT show as a fan appreciation thing because they don't have Full Sail available. But they did do the match last year with Halftime Heat at the Performance Center. So there is room to do it. It'll be a very intimate indie show, it looks like, on USA Network. So it should be good.
I'm excited to see what they do for fan appreciation. I'm kind of also scared to see how they'll screw this up. So,
and no thoughts on at all on Lance Archer?
Boring.
Feuding with Luchasaurus over there.
Well,
yay!
JR has said they're trying to now bring in the bigger guys, so that's where you're going to have your Lance Archers along with your Jake Haggers. You're going to have Brody Lee showing up eventually.
Wardlow, you can't forget about Wardlow.
Luchasaurus. So they're going to have their little guys and then their big guys.
So one more comment before we head into AEW
roster.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there, Sean.
No worries.
Okay. So one more comment before we head into AEW. Doug says the biggest pop at the Vegas tapings for Impact was Blanchard by far. So thank you for that. And Doug Trencher, at Midwestern Wrestling was down at the Impact tapings with his wife, I do believe. Well, Clarence was up here watching wrestling at Fanshawe College. So the MWW guys were strong as far as wrestling went a couple weeks ago. Speaking of strong as far as wrestling goes, I'm going to introduce somebody new to the show, Mr. Daniel Coper. Daniel, you there?
Hey, guys.
So Mr. Transformer, as I like to call him. Daniel's a huge indie wrestling fan, but he's a huge collector, too, of anything from I know and what I've seen on social media, Transformers to the Power Rangers to DVDs to Blu-rays to wrestling collectibles such as autographs. He's and I hate saying this, but you've done more interviews than me at shows sometimes. I think you landed an interview with Gail Kim last year. Wasn't that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So how do people find you online? How do people find this interviews?
Just enter Canadian Blu-ray.
And that's on YouTube?
Yep.
All right. So being a big fan of wrestling, how much are you a fan of AEW?
I've only seen a little bit of it.
All right. So I'll get your thoughts on anything you want to comment on, but we're just going to do a quick preview of what's coming up this coming Saturday. February 29th, AEW takes place with Revolution. SoCal Uncensored with Christopher Daniels versus the Dark Order with not with Stu Grayson, with Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Guys, if you want to comment on who you think is going to win, but your thoughts on maybe Dark Order hitting pay-per-view and your thoughts as the SSB here in Ontario Indie.
Well, I think in this case, this is where they're going to finally pull the trigger and reveal who the exalted one is, unless that person still isn't out of their contract in WWE, if it's Matt Hardy. But yeah, they keep on putting some red herrings out there. I guess Raven was in the audience recently watching, and the promo guy was saying, "Oh, he's nearby," and Christopher Daniels was missing. So they're going to do something with that. SCU, I don't see winning though, even though it's John Silver and the other guy.
All right, guys, any other thoughts on that match?
Snooze fest.
All right.
I think the Dark Order, they had something when they did the big beatdown at the end, and then they screwed it up. And this exalted one, I think, is going to be Matt Hardy, but
we'll have to wait and see where the contract goes with that one. So you used to call it a snooze fest, so we're going to a bruise fest. Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Can we expect Orange Cassidy to have any more offense than he already has?
He should quit wrestling, but you know my opinion on him. Pac wins, and I hope he kills him.
Did you watch AEW last night?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so you saw him with the bunny ears?
Have you ever wanted to jump out a window quicker? Because I have.
So we got some brutal honesty from Stephen O'Neill taking place tonight.
I don't like him. I think it's stupid. And I hope Pac breaks his neck. And then that I might be entertained.
Yeah, I see Pac getting the victory here. You're going to see Orange Cassidy getting in all his spots. This is his first singles match with AEW. And yeah, he's going to do his little kicks and get laughed at by Pac. Daniel, what's your thought on it?
I'm going to have to say Orange Cassidy loses.
So, all right, you know what? I'm gonna be the only one on this show right now saying Orange Cassidy actually wins. Then,
are you drunk?
There's coffee right here. It might be a little bit Bailey's in it, but not much at all. Anyway, no, I'm a fan of Orange Cassidy. You know what? I like the gimmick. He's a good person in real life. I got to meet him at one of the Smash shows. So, but anyway, I tell you this: if Orange Cassidy wins, I want an apology. I don't care if it's on this show or through social media from every one of you guys.
If Orange Cassidy wins, I'm going to stop watching AEW.
Daniel just gave the thumbs up for anybody watch or listening on audio. Sean's smiling. Steven you heard Steven's comment. So anyway, we'll get into the next match. Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander, AEW Women's Championship on the line. New champ, still champ. Thoughts on Chris Statlander just as a wrestler in AEW, I guess. I'm still not sold on her.
Well, I see the championship still staying with Nyla Rose. They need to build her up as a beast. Because that's her thing, the native beast. Unfortunately, it's once again the whole, I hate to say it because of the intergender sort of deal, and she's transgender, but the size is there compared to the rest of the roster on AEW. And so they have to build her up almost like an Awesome Kong of this generation. And she's going to keep the title for a while. As far as Statlander and her, let's poke your nose, and I'm from Area 51. Hey, if that gets her through, why not?
I wish they would have done the Beast thing right off the bat, like Awesome Kong, and have her not lose for a year and have her win the title and run with it for a while. I think she wins versus Chris Statlander. The alien who, if Nyla Rose breaks her in half, I wouldn't be sad because it's another stupid gimmick in AEW.
All right, Daniel's still champ, new champ.
She keeps the belt.
All right, I'm gonna agree with Daniel on that one. 5 matches left. This one, I'm gonna say it's gonna be match of the night easily. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara. Your guys' thoughts on the two of those guys and where they're going to be in a couple of years?
Match of the night.
Oh yeah, match of the night for sure. I think. Sorry, Sean. I think Sammy Guevara has superstar written all over his face. He's got that arrogant heel personality that you just want to punch right square in the face. But I would pay money to see it happen because he just draws you into that. Like, I want to punch you right square in the face, and I want to see someone beat the shit out of you for fun. But Darby Allin, he's got talent. I don't know if his gimmick can. I couldn't see him main eventing WrestleMania, where I could see Sammy Guevara main eventing WrestleMania.
I like Sammy Guevara, and somewhat like what JR has also commented on during his podcast and on AEW. He reminds him a lot of Eddie Guerrero. And if that's what he's being compared to, the sky's the limit with this guy. So, and Darby Allin, he's got personality without even talking. He's doing those signs and stuff like that, and he has the skateboard gimmick. It's getting over, and so these two should burn down the place on Saturday.
I want to see Darby Allin versus Tarek.
That'd be good.
That'd be front row for that one. Daniel, your thoughts?
I'll go with Sammy.
No, you're gonna go with the next Eddie Guerrero. All right, Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. John, maybe you want to take this one.
Jake Hager is getting his first AEW match. Dustin seems to have more passion than Jake Hager. Like, the way they presented him, he's more of a follower than a leader. He's always behind Chris Jericho and always behind the other guys in the inner circle. Yeah, he has his MMA thing, and we already know him as Jake Swagger or Jack Swagger from WWE.
Now who's drinking?
Yeah. I'm still going with Dustin.
I think it's Jack Swagger. I'm torn. I want to see this match because I think it could potentially even steal the match of the night. There's a real good shot that they could click and it be really good, or it be a complete disaster.
How about you, Daniel?
I'm gonna go with Rhodes.
Dustin Rhodes. Let's see, I'm torn between them. I'm going to go with Hager. So because of the fact I think they're going to build this guy into a beast that's eventually going to turn on Chris Jericho. Speaking of turning on people, do we see Kenny Omega get the crap beat out of him by Hangman Page tomorrow on Saturday night? People are unfamiliar with that. So Kenny Omega, Adam Page taking on the Young Bucks for the championships right there. I see the Young Bucks taking the championships, and I see Hangman Page turning on Kenny Omega.
Sadly, I agree with you because unfortunately,
sadly,
because everybody is cheering Hangman Page with his whole beer drinking gimmick. How you turn on a guy who's doing that and getting over like that? But they're telegraphing the fact that he's supposed to be the one turning heel on Kenny Omega. The one thing that AEW has been absent in doing, and I've said it before on here, is they don't do the slow burn. They didn't allow a really big buildup of friendship between Cody and MJF and pulled that trigger. And now we got that this Sunday. They didn't wait for somebody else to be the winner of the Battle Royal and extend the losing streak of the Bucks and wait till maybe the next All In for this match that's happening on Saturday. They've set themselves up so much for Page to turn heel on Omega and do what you just described when you were putting the match out there with zero build, really. They don't like the slow burn.
I think that we might see a swerve. I think you might find Omega turn on Page.
Yeah.
That might interest me, but
I'd be good with that.
I also agree. I don't think I don't understand why they're rushing this. It seems like they're rushing. I don't understand why the Young Bucks need the World Tag Team titles. I'm pretty sure they're going to win it on Saturday, which is kind of unfortunate. Not that I don't think they can do good things with them. I didn't agree with SCU losing the titles to Hangman Page and Omega. And then it's going to be another title change, a month? not even a month. It seems like they're playing hot potato with the belts, which is one of my biggest problems with WWE.
So Daniel, you think too soon as far as the Young Bucks possibly winning in this one?
I'm gonna have to say probably Omega and Hangman keep the belts.
No, interesting. You're going the opposite way. So do you, when okay, so if that's the case, when do you see these guys split apart rocker style?
I'm not sure.
All right, we'll have to bring in the barbershop. Maybe that'll be motivation for the guys there. Last two matches of the night. So MJF Cody, is the hype going to be worth it? We're going to see them deliver on Saturday.
Match-wise, yes, but MJF needs to win because if Cody wins, it's over. But Cody's going in. We can buy the lashing of the strap. We can buy the 10-minute cage match with Wardlow, which that was a waste of a cage match, your first one on AEW, with those two against each other. It should have been bigger stakes and bigger matchup. But MJF has to win, or it's over and done.
I'm calling this the worst match of the night because whatever they do is going to be wrong. If Cody wins, it's wrong. I don't think that they rushed this match, just like we've talked about before. They rush. I think they screwed this match up and it becomes the worst match of the night. I think MJF wins because I think Arn Anderson turns on Cody Rhodes, but I think it's going to be not a good match. And not because the guys can't wrestle. I think they're just going to do something a cluster finish. Arn Anderson's going to turn on him. And I'm not interested.
Daniel, how about you?
MJF.
Now, are you interested in the match, though?
Not really.
All right, there's that. All right, scenario for you guys. So last match of the night, Chris Jericho, John Moxley. MJF defeats Cody and lines himself up as the next challenger for the new champ, John Moxley. So MJF versus Moxley down the road for the championship. MJF takes the championship off of Moxley. You guys see this happening, potential storyline?
No.
Because Moxley wins, and he's not dropping and getting the title from the youngest AEW champion in history.
I think Moxley could win the title, but I kind of hope he doesn't. I would hope that there's not a title change until All Out. I think, is that the pay-per-view that Jericho won it in May? Yeah. I want to say-ish. I would hope that they hold off for any title change for that year, but I think Jericho wins, but I think there's some sort of interference. But
I think whoever does eventually beat Jericho should not have a former WWE moniker to their last resume stop. It needs to be somebody who has not worked there and is somewhat AEW homegrown-ish or whatever, like that, because if not, you're just passing it around to WWE guys. And that's what happened to TNA and stuff like that.
Brandon Cutler, he needs a win.
No, Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy, I think, is too soon.
I mean, well, yes. I mean, I'm thinking someone, especially like Jungle Boy. I don't think it's Luchasaurus because I don't think he could do the matches with everyone. Sammy Guevara, maybe, if he was to turn.
Darby.
Yeah, that's
a lot of hesitation right there.
I just haven't seen enough from him that he's going to consistently deliver.
All right, Daniel, before we say goodbye to AEW, your thoughts. Who are we going to still champ, new champ? And I mean, do you agree with Sean as far as Jericho goes? I mean, the youngest champ shouldn't be losing the belt yet.
For me, it's kind of hard to choose who I think is going to win.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Anyway, AEW Revolution. If you're in town, because I know some people are not going to be in town, watch it on pay-per-view on this coming Saturday on Fight. I don't know if they still got their thing with BR Live, but if they do, it'll be on there. What, Sean? Why are you smiling over there?
It's all good.
Okay. All right. So that is. Oh, one more thing.
Dogs having fun.
So if you're big if I can talk, if you're in Vancouver, AEW Revolution viewing party at Jaeger's Downtown Restaurant and Sports Bar. So shout out to those people up in Vancouver. We go from talking Vancouver into the Canadian independent wrestling scene, and Sean's best way to correct me every friggin' single week. So I think I'm on board this time. Sean, you're still not doing the Canadian thing though. You're just on the Ontario thing, right?
Just Ontario. There's a lot going on over Canada. If I can just get the Ontario thing going, I'm happy.
Okay. So a whole bunch of shows taking place. So I'm going to run through them. Tonight, actually, CWE Live in Rosso River featuring WWE alumni Nick Eugene Dinsmore, Dominion City, Manitoba, as well as WrestleMax 2 featuring Boom Boom Cabana, who is I got to see at a Smash show a long time ago, Winnipeg, Manitoba. So that's it for Thursday. Sean, you probably don't have either one of those listed, eh?
No.
All right. Now we start going into the Ontario stuff. So tomorrow, Nick Eugene Dinsmore, that's hard to say. Winnipeg Seminar and Midwest All-Pro Tryout. Winnipeg CBPW presents Showcase Series 30 in Kitchener, Ontario. PPW Live in Fort McLeod, Alberta taking place. PPW is Pure Power Wrestling. RCW Boiling Point in Boyle, Alberta, as well as CWE Live in Winnipeg featuring Eugene Dinsmore once again, Winnipeg. Anything I missed as far as Ontario goes?
Nope. I only have Showcase.
So Saturday, I'm just gonna say Eugene. That's a tough thing to say. Anyway, Eugene, Regina Seminar Midwest All Pro Tryout, Regina, Saskatchewan, and I'm loving this because there's two. So if there's a show and Nova's on that show, it's not just that show taking place, but it's Nova at this show as well. So there's always two listings. So if you can't ever forget where Nova's going to be because she's always listed on as far as her upcoming shows go. Nova at Bordertown Pro Wrestling, Fort Erie, Ontario. North Pro Winter Warriors in Sackville, Nova Scotia. Followed by BTPW Uprising 2-year anniversary show in Fort Erie. 365 Pro Wrestling Kitchener, Ontario. CWE Live, Regina. Eugene's on that one as well. Claim Pro Wrestling presents Return to Danger Zone, Ottawa, Ontario. Great North Wrestling in Smith Falls. Kind of wish I was there for this one. They're featuring Haku and the Barbarian in Smith Falls. GEW Valleyfield in Valleyfield, Quebec. Victory Ring taking place in Thetford Mines, Quebec. PPW once again, Lethbridge, Alberta. RCW Fusion, Onaway, Alberta. ECCW WrestleFest in New Westminster, BC. Thrash Wrestling Frost Fight in Merritt, BC. All-Star Wrestling in Vancouver, BC. That is it for Saturday that I have.
That's what I got.
So I'm 3/4 of the way done. I'm betting 100 right now. All right. Sunday, PWE Rhino Seminar in Oshawa, Ontario. Pure Pro Wrestling Tryout in Lethbridge, Alberta. PWE presents Rhino in Oshawa as part of an event. CWO, and is it NVS or is this NVUS? It's
NV Nightclub, and so then the event is called NVS.
Oh, NVS. Okay, that makes sense. So CWO NVS in Brantford, Ontario. Another Eugene Seminar Midwest All Pro Tryout in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. CWE Live in Saskatoon featuring WWE alumni Eugene once again in Saskatoon. Sean?
Yeah, that's all I have. But the only thing I'm going to throw.
No, hold on. If that's all you have, there's no buts. I'm done. I'm 100%.
I know, but there's a show that's going to happen next Thursday, March 5th in Toronto called the Arena Rumble.
No, we went up to hold on. We went to March 1st, not the 5th.
But nobody's going to know about this show because we're not going to be on.
All right.
So there's a Rumble. It's for the Arena Foundation in Toronto. It's going to have the Genius, Hornswoggle, Papa Shango, Virgil, who won't be serving at Olive Garden apparently.
Hold on, we got Virgil and the Genius on the same show?
Yeah, and Brooklyn Brawler and a bunch of other people. And I guess the money is being raised for helping people who in programs and housing for people with autism and other disabilities, whether they're adults, children, or seniors. So it's a charity event happening at the Midtown Event Theater in Toronto.
Yeah, I know that place well.
Yeah, we were there for a bunch of
us do, actually. All right, guys, we're running short on time. Last week we touched on Femme Fatales 23. The big news coming out of that one. Main event saw Alexei Nicole win the Femme Fatales championship. Your thoughts on Alexei Nicole, because she is coming into London as well as Toronto for Smash Wrestling versus NSPW coming up soon. She went over Nicole Savoy in the match. Mercedes Martinez had dropped the title, and obviously a little bit of controversy there as far as the storyline went. But Alexei Nicole is champ. What do you guys think?
I'm good with it. I'm a fan of hers. I helped you get that interview with her a couple of years ago at Smash.
I've never seen her, so I can't tell you anything about her.
The Bubblegum Princess.
Yes, the Bubblegum Princess, which she almost didn't go by at one point. But yeah, I did an interview with her. I'll post on the TNT website coming up soon, as well as I did interviews with Sebastian Suave, Kevin Bennett, when he was still part of the original Kevin Bennett experience. But yeah, you'll see some of that exclusive stuff on the website coming up. Daniel,
your thoughts on Alexia being the champion? That's the thumbs up, Orange Cassidy style, apparently.
So for all you MP3 audio listeners on the podcast, yeah, Daniel was giving a thumbs up for that one. So greatly agrees with that. From there, let me see here. So we did Femme Fatales. You guys want to do the preview or you want to do the recap? So preview being Bordertown Pro Wrestling.
Let's go with the recap of Smash, because Steven and Daniel and I were there this past Sunday at the Rec Room in Toronto.
There you go.
So, hold on. So before I shut up for like a good couple minutes because I wasn't there, Sean's reference to that, go on the Scumbags. You know what? Here, hold on a second. I'm going to bring this up. So if you go to this group here on Facebook, man, that's small. Okay, anyway, there. Scumbags of Wrestling. I'll leave that up for a bit because you guys are all Scumbags part of the group, as well as myself. But reference being, go find that video when Sean was, Stephen already swore, so fucking up more or less on the name of the place. But
it's live.
I'll do a lead in here, guys. Your thoughts on the show itself, as well as, and now I know a few of you guys have talked to me about this, but the new direction of Smash Wrestling, the venue itself, the thought that they're going back to the Rec Room come April versus NSPW. Like I said, I'm going to shut up. I'll just get your guys' thoughts on the show itself and maybe any highlights.
I mean, I think it's probably one of the better Smash shows I've seen in a while. If this is the quality they're going to produce in 2020, we're in for big things for Smash. I like the storylines where they're going. I'm intrigued by some of the new people they brought in. Bear Country was very interesting, and I mean, some of the talent that they brought in, I can't remember even the one guy's name in the opening match. Generic wrestler number 6.
Daniel, your thoughts?
Sorry, hold on.
I
know I said it. Shut up, but hold on a second. It's funny that you call him that because Sean, before we had started broadcasting, I said the exact same thing. Generic wrestler number 6. So that kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah, that's what we were calling him there. I couldn't have told you his name. He looked like anyone that you would ever see at any independent wrestling show.
TJ Crawford.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Daniel, what's your thoughts on it? And then I can run down the results of the card.
Definitely a good event. Really good turnout.
Yeah, it was my first time in the Rec Room. And yeah, nice venue. The way they have everything set up. And then they had the bar right there. No complaints about it. So just running down the card quickly, generic wrestler number 6 was actually TJ Crawford. He lost to John Greed. It was supposed to be a triple threat match with Sebastian Suave. That was out of the match, but he came out afterwards and said that he's done with Anthony Kingdom James. They're going to go their separate ways, and he's no longer a wrestler. He is an endorsed athlete or a paid athlete, something like that. And so then he said he's going to get the money and is going to do 3 matches, open challenges each night, so he can get all the money for each match. And so he went against Michael Grayson, beat him quickly, then beat Rodney Matthews quickly. The third person come out was Brent Banks, and he didn't want to face a fellow pillar in Brent, especially right then and there. He did throw out the fact that they might face each other at Super Showdown, which is not until the summertime, because him and Tarek, another pillar, burned the place down when they went against each other, and he feels that they can do it together with Brent. And they slapped him and ran away. The fans counted a 10 count to give Brent the unofficial win. Then Rosemary defeated Veda Scott to retain the women's championship. Philly and Marino experience, which one of them, I'm not sure who was who, but looked like the love child of Michael PSA's and maybe somebody like Missy Hyatt. They beat Baywatch after Josh Pine, the lifeguard on duty, accidentally hit the Wavemaker with the towel. Tarek in the match of the night beat Mike Bailey. Huge chop fest between these guys. There was hand marks on the fronts and backs. It was match of the night, number one contender. Tarek is the new one after defeating Bailey. The intermission happened. Then we had Psycho Mike Rollins defeat Brent Banks. Mike's hinting at a heel turn-ish. He didn't want to get... Well, very much so, okay. But, he still wanted to be friends and apologize for doing it. But he did the whole stuff with the weapons or the roll of quarters, whatever it was, and just tucked away and getting Brent caught and defeating him. Bear Country, I want them to come back. They beat Main State Posse, two guys who just got mauled by bears, really. And, of course, Roscoe was in the corner of Kevin Bennett. And now Muscle is a part of Kevin Bennett experience again, and they beat Carter Mason to retain the Smash Championship. So great direction. We're going to now see Bennett against Tarek again, and that's the guy who lost the title. So they have a chance of doing that all over. Where Mason goes from there, who knows? And if we're leading towards Suave and Banks later in the summer, the build-up for that should be great.
So what you're telling me is the remix of professional wrestling retained.
Yes, he did. Yes.
And now you've got my two boys going at it for the championship.
Yes.
Daniel, forget that thumbs up shit there.
I think you find Carter Mason ends up in that, and it's a triple threat.
I'd be interested.
With the title?
So Bennett doesn't actually have to lose.
Correct.
Ah, there we go.
I think, though, the next Smash champion is Carter Mason. And I think that happens at Super Showdown.
That'd be interesting. Super Showdown's always coming up. But what is it, August again this year?
Should be.
Yeah. So Smash Wrestling, next couple shows taking place. What was it? April? I almost said August, but April 19th in St. Thomas.
April 19th, St. Thomas, Tyson Duke's Wrestle Factory, and a few other members of the Smash roster are going to be there. Might see Halal Beefcake, might see Kevin Bennett. Who knows? Cards coming together. And then 26th in Toronto with MSPW.
25th in Toronto.
25th in Toronto. And 26th here at the London Music Hall.
Yes, so night 1, night 2 against NSPW. So it should be absolutely phenomenal.
And the four of us have tickets for that.
What's that?
The four of us have tickets for the London show.
Yeah,
I got both.
You got both.
So Steven be able to provide highlights of back-to-back nights. It's funny because one of those shows, actually the Orange Cassidy show, he ended up fighting Mike Rollins at one of the first show.
I don't know. I gave my tickets and asked for a refund because I wouldn't see him because he's a piece of crap.
All right, so Steven is uninvited to be part of the show ever again. I was joking right there.
I just would not. I will not waste my money on pockets. And if you've watched or listened to Jim Cornette's podcast, he's pockets. He's boring, waste of space. No.
All right. Before we get into some plugs, just quickly bring this up. Bordertown Pro Wrestling presents Uprising 2-year anniversary show taking place Saturday, February 29th, Fort Erie Native Friendship Center, Fort Erie, Ontario. Doors at 5 p.m. for the VIPs, GAs for 5:30 p.m. Bell time at 6. BordertownWrestling.com is the website. VIP show is going to be hosted by Pat Porter and Jay Moore, featuring a bonus match. Coincidentally enough, Jay Moore, 2001-2002, was actually writing for one of my original websites, so it's kind of interesting to see where he's gone. Seven announced matches of the night: Justin Sane versus the endorsement Sebastian Suave. Everybody's favorite Nova taking on Addy Starr. King of the North Carter Mason taking on El Reverso. Ben Hammond taking on Joe Pimentel. Two new names for me there. Revolt, Alec Realm, Jordan James taking on Saturday Night Delight, Tyler Turva, and the Wrestling Machine, Tyson Dukes. Adrenaline Division Championship on the line, the first ever Hail to the King match. You know, if they're going to have a Hail to the King match, Carter Mason should be part of that. But Jesse V taking on Gabriel Furza, sorry if I butchered the name right there. Holden Albright, Space Monkey, Shane Saber, and Corey Stone. And then the main event is triple threat match for the Bordertown Pro Wrestling Championship. Congo Kong with Jay Moore taking on Tarek, taking on Hacker Scotty O'Shea. Without doing full kind of previews or predictions or whatever the case may be, Sean, I think you're going down for this one, eh?
Yeah, Jonesy was at my house the other day, and we've decided we're going to go to Bordertown.
So Fort Erie.
Yep, Fort Erie, and catch this show. Second anniversary, and I thought I heard that Congo Kong has been their champion the whole time, so there could be a change in the guard after 2 years.
So what
Scotty O'Shea.
So all of these guys, or all you guys, what stands out as far as the matches go? Something we've never seen in Smash Wrestling, the Revolt taking on Tyler Turva and Tyson Dukes. Do you guys see this as a formidable tag team?
Steve? Daniel?
I like Tyson Turva and Tyson Dukes should be a really good tag team. I mean, that could be match of the night. I think the Revolt and at least Tyson Dukes should have really good chemistry. If not, I'm pretty sure they'll end up getting push-ups.
What about Justin Sane taking on Sebastian Suave?
I've never seen Justin Sane.
No, he's Midwestern Wrestling, isn't he?
We're going to see him Midwestern Wrestling against the Wavemaker.
Oh, against Kyle Boone.
Kyle Boone against the Night Train on March 28th.
All right. And your guys' thoughts on the main event, Congo Kong, Tarek, Scotty O'Shea. Do we see new champ, and who's it going to be?
I'm going to guess Tarek if I was promoting, but who knows? I haven't followed it, so I don't know kind of what their stories are, but I would assume Tarek.
So Daniel, Tarek, Scotty O'Shea, Congo Kong.
I'm going with Tarek.
Going to go with Tarek. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to go. You know what? If it was going to be new champ Tarek, but I'm going to go Congo Kong to retain. Sean, your thoughts, main event?
Oddly enough, I might go with Scotty O'Shea, sneaking it in.
So the hacker.
A hacker.
So again, Uprising 2-year anniversary show, Fort Erie, Ontario, taking place this coming Saturday. Bell time 6 p.m., VIP 5, and doors open at 5:30. Fort Erie, Ontario. So what we'd like to do best at the very end of the show is do some plugs. I'm going to ask, I know myself and Sean, but Stephen, Daniel, are you guys familiar with the Ontario Independent Wrestling Podcast Network coming up?
Yes, Sean's added me.
So I want to get your guys' thoughts just as fans. You know, your guys' thoughts on having this group of podcasters in Ontario forming to join a network to have all content in one place, as well as kind of giving each other rubs as far as, you know, hey, George McKay just released an interview today with Addy Starr, or what's the Alien Habanero? He's the Weekly Whisper. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he has the Weekly Whisper. And, well, Steve and I also saw James Weber, which is Ringside with Chops at the Smash Show. So
you guys' thoughts just on the network itself and maybe the potential?
I like it because I do like listening to wrestling podcasts. I already listened to both Jim Cornette ones, 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, Something to Wrestle With. I listened to Scumbags. I listened to this while I do my workout, and it's great, or while I'm at work. I love that I can go onto it and I can actually just pull up, once I've caught up on everything, I can pull up something that I may not have ever heard of before, and I can kind of catch up on and hear other people's point of view on independent wrestling and different AEW thoughts. So it's kind of cool to be able to just pull up Facebook and I can get all over Ontario's people's different thoughts.
So how about you, Daniel? How about your thoughts on all these podcasters coming together?
I think it'd be a good idea.
All right. So hashtag OIW Podcast Network, OIWpodcastnetwork.ca is the official website. My goal in doing this, I'm kind of the back end as far as social media right now, getting it up and started, as well as the website. My goal, as opposed to going to every a website out there, every social media link out there, is to bring everything into one website to make sure all that content is available through one website. So whether it be Straight Talk Wrestling, or Sean's Scumbags of Wrestling, or the Road Trips, or TNT, or the Weekly Whisper, or Gilmy Talks, you know what I mean? To have everything centralized. So all you have to do is go to one website to be able to listen to all these podcasts and find out all what we're doing. And much like this, you know what I mean? It's been great having 4 people on the show. I think I think we had Doug and Clarence on the one night, and we've had Carter Mason on the show as well. But I want to get into doing this for Midwestern Wrestling, as well as doing this for WrestleMania coming up. So Sean, your thoughts on the network itself, and where do you see it being in 6 months?
I think it's going to be an awesome experience to be able to do, because there's guys like us who are doing more of the information thing. I do the event listings, but then you have the other guys in the group who are doing the interviews of the stars, and where somebody's weakness might be interviews, somebody else is picking that up. So it's going to be a good balance of information and points of view. And I look forward to seeing it. And, there's some people like James who do not have a podcast per se, but he's out there on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you're following him live for things. So he doesn't necessarily sit down and spend time like we are right now, but he's doing it at that point. So everybody's has their own style, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, so a big project for me coming up. I'm going to start it this weekend and see where I go with it. But I think it'd be cool as well to be able to have live notifications sent to like your email or to your phone as far as when a podcast goes live. So if you're not doing anything at all, you don't necessarily have to be online, but you can get a notification as far as like TNT going live or whatever the case may be. So yeah, big things coming up for that. Sean, what's going on in your world as far as the Scumbags go?
Okay, so as I just said, I'm going to Fort Erie for Bordertown Wrestling. Going to be doing some live stuff before, during, and after the show, just covering that. Going to be doing this week's episode number 94 of the Scumbags Wrestling Podcast, finishing up the Ontario Indie Road Trip show. And there's going to be, I'm hoping on Saturday, a special video version of the podcast just to highlight the 32-person tournament for the March Madness. Last year I did March Madness, and Tyson Dukes ended up winning it. I put out a call for people to suggest some talent to be listed in 32. I've got the 16 first-round matches picked. You'll see that video where I picked them, and we start putting them into the brackets.
You better not be doing Tarek and friggin' Kevin Bennett in the same field. That better not be a first-round match, I tell you.
No, that could be a second-round match.
Oh, piss off.
Depending on how
really?
It's just how it drew out.
No, rigged.
No, it's how it goes. First round is actually going to be on March 1st, Albright versus Sean Spears. March 2nd, Jordan James against Kevin Bennett. March 3rd, Tarek against Josh Alexander, and Von Vertigo against Alexia Nicole on March.
Wait a second, you put friggin' Tarek against Josh Alexander?
That's how they drew out.
What do you mean that's how they drew out? How did you draw this out?
You'll see when you watch the video.
You got talking to fucking Sebastian Swab too much last week, and he's putting friggin' ideas into your head.
If it was only true. But
right, so who's been facing
every day at 7 a.m. for the month of March? You'll get the next round of the tournament and see who advances. Sorry, guys, some of your favorites are going to go against each other. Some of my favorites are going against each other. I was disappointed in some of the drawings when it came up, but it is what it is, and we'll see how it plays out.
Rigged.
Here we go. I got a new friggin' phrase on the screen for you: punch, kick, chop. Tarek loses. I hope he comes find you. I tell you that much.
Josh Alexander.
So who is Bennett facing first round?
Fireball Jordan James.
Okay, well, that should be an easy win. And so how does this happen? How do people vote?
Every morning at 7 a.m., they can see the next matchup in the tournament. It actually does work out well for 31 days to get the winner on March 31st.
All right, guys. So Scumbags Are Wrestling. There's Sean's group right there. Facebook.com/groups/Scumbags Are Wrestling. Yeah, you got my votes, Tarek and Kevin Bennett immediately. Jordan James going to get friggin' disqualified anyway. So whatever's in his, his juice bottle that night. So anyways, it is a cool concept. And you said it running for the whole entire month of March, eh?
Yes.
So keep people
voting.
Yeah, keep people busy with New Japan Cup on hold, as well as WrestleMania season not quite happening yet. Guys, you know where to reach me here, cwnonline.ca. That is my baby. That is where you can provide news updates as well as content with regards to live shows coming up, where we're going to be, and more like that. Guys, what's going on in your guys' world? I'll start with you there, Steven. Now, you're a fan. How do people reach online, and what's the greatest way for the people to get in touch with you as far as ideas or shows that maybe they want you to go to?
Facebook for sure is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Stephen O'Neill, that's basically the easiest way to get a hold of me. Through Messenger. I'm in Toronto now, so I've started to see a lot more local, we'll call them, promotions. We won't say the name yet. Too much politics for that. But I'm starting to see a lot more local Toronto shows. So it's kind of cool to be in Toronto and be able to see a show almost every weekend if I want to.
It's got nothing to do with Josh Alexander, does it?
No. It's a different promotion. It's another Toronto one that we won't say the name because it will piss me off more.
There you go. You know what? If we get big enough with this show, or we're looking for ideas, we'll all get shit-faced one night and just talk about the drama that's never talked about here in Ontario. So, anyways, that as soon as you see us with the vodka bottles out, then you know it's go time. Daniel, what's going on in your world? What have you bought recently?
A whole bunch of stuff that I still need to do videos for.
Whole bunch of stuff you still need to do videos for. What is the best way to get in touch with you again on Steven's cracking up here. All right, so Daniel, what's the best way to get in touch with you online?
Through YouTube, Messenger. Yeah, that's probably the easiest.
And what is your handle again? Is
Canadian Blu-ray.
Canadian Blu-ray, and that's all over social media, eh?
Yeah.
And just a heads up for Daniel, because I don't know why you're not promoting it, bud, but you just had a good interview with the Wavemaker, Kyle Boone, until the lifeguard on duty, Josh Pine, chased you away. You were doing a good interview, and that's available on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I just want to say thanks to Sean for recording it for me.
Yeah. So me personally, I've seen Daniel do interviews with Shiloh, who's Tyson Duke's student, Vanessa Armstrong, who is better known as Violet Lee. Like I said, last year he scored an interview with Gail Kim, son of a bitch. I didn't think of it first, but no, Daniel's good at his interviews, and he knows what questions to ask, and he's very nice and courteous as far as meeting these people goes. I didn't realize you would interview Kyle Boone. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just I've been wanting to do that one for a little while, and finally got it done.
So who is? Let me ask you this: who's next on your hit list?
I'm working on probably the Revolt.
The Revolt, like as a tag team.
Yeah.
So Sean, if Daniel needs any help, you're probably the person to go to, eh?
Yep.
All right, very good, guys. All right, so Throwdown.ca, that is the best way to reach us as far as this podcast goes. Again, if you're watching this, thank you very much for watching. Like us on social media, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and that's our website right there, tnthrowdown.ca. You'll see our bios up there. You'll see the shows posted up there. You'll see any kind of news I think is relevant. So Kevin Bennett was featured in a Slam Wrestling article. Alexia Nicole's obviously title win. So you'll see that. You'll see cwnonline.ca as well as the OIW Podcast Network website updated very, very, very soon. So, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. It's been fun. It's interesting having everybody's opinions on here because not necessarily we're all going to agree, but some answers are better than others, and some people talk a lot more than others. But it's always sorry, sound effect. I didn't realize what the hell that was. But anyways, long story short, it has been a good episode. I thank you guys for being here. And again, anybody listening or watching, thank you very much. And we will see and have everybody listen to us next week. So thanks again, guys.
See you. Thank you for having me.